Leslie, I'm sorry I upset Rick, but I had to call it the way I saw it. I really resent this waste.
Well, I feel like I'm caught in the middle here. I agree with you. He's brilliantly talented as a doctor, and for him just to sit around anywhere doing nothing all day is a waste.
Well, what about you? You're a brilliant doctor as well. It's a waste of your time, too.
You have to understand there's another side to this, Mark. He built this place with his own blood, sweat, and tears. His whole heart is in here. I don't blame him for trying to save it.
Rick's a smart man, and a wise man will see the inevitable.
Oh, no. This is what I was afraid of. No patience.
No, not all morning.
Well, where's Rick? I thought he'd be here.
Well,
He was here. He left rather abruptly.
What do you mean? What happened?
Oh, nothing out of the ordinary. Just another blow-up because somebody confronted him about the clinic. I'm sure he went looking for a sympathetic shoulder to cry on. If you need to talk to him, I would suggest the Kellys is probably the place to start.
I don't understand.
Nothing. I'm sorry. Nothing.
well, I tried to tell him this is a no-win situation. He didn't want to accept it, but it's the truth. This place is finished.
Well, I find that hard to accept as well. I just can't imagine the people down here without the medical attention they need.
Neither can I.
Well, I think they can have the proper medical attention. I don't know the details, but I'm sure there must be an alternative.
Like what?
Well, what it boils down to is you have to admit this place is through. And you have to find a way to get the waterfront patients to the clinic at General Hospital.
Mark, that involves a ride. These people don't have cars. Most of them don't even have the bus fare.
Well, even if they have a dime, they need it for food.
Well, what I have in mind doesn't cost a cent.
What do you mean, like some kind of carpool?
No. I'm talking about a bus. Not a public bus, but a private bus. As a shuttle between the waterfront and General Hospital.
You know, that just might work.
Sure.
A bus or a van.
Well, but it would only work if it wouldn't cost them anything to ride it.
Well, that's the whole idea. You get volunteers. You get volunteers to drive down here at certain points at the waterfront. You have volunteers to help the patients off at General Hospital.
You know, it would be a godsend. Except we don't have a bus or a van.
Well, I have an idea. The hospital might help fund this. We can bring the idea to Steve. He can take it to the board. Are they going to turn us down?
Well, it would certainly give the people here the medical care they need. Mm-hmm. They might be afraid of coming here, but I don't really see how they could object to a free bus ride.
Leslie, then you're for the idea.
Well, let's say I'm for it if we understand that we are talking stopgap here, that this is only temporary until this place is accepted again.
And what if it isn't?
It's got to be. It will be. It's got to be. Rick is going to devote the rest of his life to making sure of it. But I think if we could present him with this shuttle idea and make sure he understands that we're only talking about a temporary solution, I think he might agree to.
Hey, Rose! Doc! Guess what?
What?
Guess what's happened? They stopped tearing down the apartment building.
Oh, ho. Let me get that straight.
I got it straight, Doc. Honest. The police commissioner made the workers stop tearing down the building.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure. You know what that could mean?
What?
Maybe that dumb mob won't ever happen.
Hey! Rick, do you think it's true?
Well, he sure sounded like he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, but if it is true, I wonder what made Robin stop them.
I don't know. I wish I did know.
Hey, guess what? We heard
Hey.
just some unbelievable news.
Yeah, I didn't believe it either, but it's true. I assume you're talking about the demolition.
Yes.
Yeah, they're stopped. They're not working any
Yeah,
longer.
I know.
Oh, it's true. We just passed there and there's no work being done.
One of the workers told us that their permit was withdrawn.
And that's what we were told, and that Scorpio had stopped them.
Right.
Which I think is incredible, but I don't know how he managed it.
Well, let's not question it. Let's just be glad it happened.
You better believe it. Any patients?
No. But Mark has what we think might be an absolutely terrific idea.
Oh.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of details to be worked out, but it's a fairly simple plan, Rick.
What is it?
That every waterfront person can have free medical care, even if this project does go through.
It's kind of exciting.
Well, fine. Let's sit down and talk about it.
Right.
So you have a bus or a van, make specific stops on the waterfront, then back to General Hospital. Round trips, of course.
And what about funding?
Mark thinks that the hospital may vote to underwrite it.
And a lot of work will be done by volunteers.
It's only temporary, see? Temporary.
Yeah, and then when they got faith in the clinic again, you could phase out the shuttle system, that's all.
But what do you think, Rick?
I think it's good theory.
Don't you think it's good practice, too?
No, I don't. I'll tell you why. No matter how we try to personalize the free clinic at General Hospital, it's not going to work. These are a different bunch of people down here, and they just don't like the outside.
It's true.
From the very beginning, when we started this clinic, we knew we were dealing with a special bunch of people. People that didn't interact with the rest of the city. They're afraid of it. They want to stay here. They deal with themselves on their own turf.
I can't believe people are going to pass up free medical care because it's not available on the waterfront.
Well, I do. I just talked with a woman who'll give you a very good example of it. You remember Mrs. Calvert? You worked on her at the clinic.
Sure, she's got a problem with her leg, yeah.
All right, fine. She was just telling us why she's afraid to go to the waterfront clinic. She started naturally with the poisoned water episode.
Oh, but didn't you tell her that that's all taken care of?
Of course I did, but what was important, what was running underneath, and most important of all, was that they are afraid of the outside. They don't want to leave this little area.
They've always been like that.
Oh, they have they?
Well, but what we'd have to do, then, to fight that is make it very clear that this is only a temporary measure. It's just temporary. Now, don't you think that they would accept that?
Yes, I think they would accept that. They would even understand that. But what I'm afraid of is they're going to read something a lot worse into it, which happens to be true.
Like what?
Like the second we say shuttle, and we start moving them from here to General Hospital, they're going to know that we backed off from the mob.
How can you conclude something like that?
Very easily, Doctor, because I understand how they think. You don't. The second we say shuttle, they know we've sold out to the mob. Now, you're so crazy about this idea. Fine, you do it. It's all yours. I'm out of it.
He has a point.
Oh, but Rose, there's nothing wrong with change.
Well, I know, but the people tend to really understand. Well, I understand.